Unfortunately, you probably can't see that. For some reason, I think the resolution going up to the, connecting to the monitor has made my print really, really small. But that says analog timers, control single outlet, repeat daily on a weekly schedule. Home controllers are hardwired devices, similar to the alarm systems, the way alarm systems used to be, where they had a little wire that would go to each sensor by each door. That's kind of how the home controllers worked, where they'd work with a switch, like an analog switch, that they would just flip on and off and turn the power on and off. And I don't have any examples of those to let you see, but those were just, a box, and they'd be hooked to the either near the breaker, or they'd have, actually be wired out to switches and boxes, usually in the walls. Current home automation is the X10 technology. That's the most popular. It's been around for a long time. Radio Shack used to sell these X10 devices. They stopped a couple years ago. And I've got some of these. You may have seen these before. This is one of the modules. You can pass that around.
Now this is one of the good ones, because you'll note here you set the address by a pinwheel switch. There are other types that try to program, and I've had nothing but trouble with those things.
And anyway, so I started out with basically those modules. And then I moved on to here's another neat thing you can mount on the wall. I'll pass that around. Those stick on the wall, and those control the modules. They take like a little button cell battery. And I have these, here, you can pass these around too. I have these motion sensors in every room of my house, and these turn the lights on when you come into the room. Now, before I did that, actually, I have bought a bunch of these remotes. I have one of these remotes in every room. I keep one in the car, and I can actually turn my lights on and off from out in the car. But anyway, you see, X10 is a communications language. It communicates over the power lines from module to or from the controller to the module. It allows compatible products to communicate over the existing electrical wiring. It's fairly inexpensive, which makes it not very popular with the installers. I mean, people don't usually typically have a professional installer install these things, because you just plug them in and you can use them, and there's not very much markup on them, so installers really can't make it much money.
Is this a master control bus and what I have in my hand?
That is a remote control for my TV, VCR, everything, and it has X10 built into it. So it's also an X10 communicator. Yeah, it does TV and all that over infrared, and then it has the
RF.
Yeah, it's got the wireless, RF, radio frequency signal it sends out for the X10.
And where are you buying this stuff?
That most of it you can get from Radio Shack. That remote you actually had to order online. It's IBM sold it as a kit at one time, and I bought most of them through a company called Smart Home, which I'll tell you, that's where I get most of the stuff, is a company called Smart Home. But anyway, this kind of technology, X10 was really aimed at do-it-yourselfers, people that wanted to set up their own homes. One of the problems with the X10 technology, though, is it only controls up to 256 devices, which when you start getting really complex and adding a bunch of things to it, what ends up happening is you get bleed over between the signals. So something that, see, they have A through P in the controllers. So you have,
What's
you
the
have,
bleed
you have in each of the units, or the codes, the house codes they call them, A through P, each has 15 different modules on it. And so that's where they get the 256.
Do they compete with any other RF devices you have in the house, like
No, these don't.
Microwaves,
X10 doesn't. No.
that's been done?
Mhm. No. So, anyway, I could hook these things up to a certain point, but like I said, they bleed over to each other. So like code, if you had one set to code A, number 1, it may bleed over to A2. So what I learned is you had to set one from A1 and then set the next one for A3. So I started using like all the odd numbers, you know, so they wouldn't interfere with each other. Because once you get enough of these, it starts doing weird stuff, you know, they start